Good morning, students. Today we start the next concept of our chapter, Federalism. And the next concept is that what makes India a federal country. In our Indian constitution, the word federation is not used. Article 1st of our Indian constitution state that India is a union of states. And this federation principle is adopted from the Constitution of Canada. Though Constitution of India did not use the word federation, but Indian Union is based on the principle of federalism. And we know that India is the example of holding together federation, and the most important feature of holding together federation that there is central government always powerful than the states government. Article 1st of the Constitution declared India as a union of states. So next we discuss that on which basis that how can we say that India is a federal country. First of all, we know that India has the vertical form of power sharing, that is the three major levels of government, that is central government, state government and local government. This form of government, local government, which we adopted from the Constitution of Belgium, came into existence especially after the 73rd Amendment in 1992. Second, that is the distribution of legislative powers between the union government and the state government. Our Indian constitution specify these powers between the central government and the state government by the three major lists. First, that is union list. We discussed earlier about these lists that total subjects at present 100, previous 97. It includes subjects of national importance like defense, like foreign affairs, communication, currency, etc. A union government alone can make laws relating to these subjects. So the first list, that is union list, which included all the subjects which have national importance. Second one is state list. Total subjects 61, previous subject 66. Subjects of state and local importance like police, trade, irrigation, agriculture are the part of state list, and state government alone can make laws in the given subjects of state list. Next one is concurrent list. In the concurrent list, total subjects are 52 and 47 was the previous subjects. Subjects of common interest to both union, state governments. Example, education, forest, marriage, divorce, adoption, successor. All these are the examples of the concurrent list. Union and state government both can make laws. In case of conflict, if there is a conflict between the laws of central and state government, that finally the law made by union government prevail. Next one is that the residuary powers. Some subjects which were not present at the time of the enforcing of our Indian constitution, then the rest of the subjects become the part of residuary powers, and residuary powers are in the hand of our union government. So these are the three lists and one residuary power which specify the subjects by our Indian constitution between the center and the state government. The next concept is of this, that the not equal powers to all administrative units. As we know that India is the example of holding together federation. So in our country India, central government is always more powerful than the state government. Most of the federations that are found by the holding together do not give equal powers to its constituent units. Next one is that under a federal system, the fundamental provision cannot be unilaterally changed by the one level of government, and same is true for India. The basic principle of Indian constitution cannot be changed by single central government or by the state government. In a federation, the judiciary plays an important role in overseeing the implementation of constitutional provisions and procedure. And we know that in our India, judiciary is playing the role of guardian of the Indian constitution, protector of fundamental rights. It can check the functioning of government, legislative or executive. So this organ of government is very important for maintaining the federal system in our country. And there are separate sources of income which is specified by the Indian Constitution. At present, GST, Goods and Services Tax, 50% of SGST, State Goods and Services Tax, and 50% of GST goes to CGST, Central Goods and Services Tax. So there are various types of taxes which are imposed by the central and state government separately. So this is about that. How can we say that India is a federal country? The next concept is that what makes India a federal country and how is federalism practiced in our country. The next concept is how is federalism practiced in India. The real success of federalism can be attributed to nature of democratic policies in our country. We can see that India is a democratic country. There are two main level of government, that is central government for entire nation and state government for the different territory and different states. It includes the spirit of federalism, that the central government is ready to distribute the power by the constitution, respect for diversity and desire for living together. These are the three major aspects of federalism. First one, we are talking about here linguistic states. Before independence, our nation leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel said that after independence, the creation of new states would be formed on the basis of language. But after the partition, there was a fear in the mind of our nation leader that it might be disintegration of our nation. So that idea would be postponed. But the first state, Andhra Pradesh, where Poti Shri Ramolu started a fast for 56 days after his death in December 1952, Andhra Pradesh would become the first state which formed on the basis of language, because Poti Shri Ramolu demanded a separate state, Andhra, for Telugu speaking people. So first we are talking here about linguistic states, and after in 1953 the central government formed the State Reorganization Commission in 1953, and that commission recommended or gave its recommendation in 1956 to create 14 states and 6 union territories. Creation of linguistic state, first major test for democratic politics in our country, India. In the political map of India, if we are compare the political map of India from 1947 to 2006, many changes. Old states have vanished, new states have been created, areas, boundaries, names of the states have been changed. So many states which were formed on the basis of language, like Haryana and Punjab. Haryana and Punjab, in 1966, Haryana came into existence after the separation from Punjab. Linguistic states to ensure that people spoke same language, lived in the same state to recognize differences based on culture, ethnicity or geography. For example, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Nagaland. These three new states were formed by the Indian government in 2000, and recently in 2014, Telangana separate from Andhra Pradesh and become the 29th at that time. At present, as you know that Jammu and Kashmir is not a state, it is union territory. So at present we have 28 states and 9 union territories. It made administration easier, contributed to the unity of the country. So it is about the linguistic state. Next one, that is the language policy. India has one official language, that is Hindi. In our country, India, 41.09% people, they are speaking Hindi language, but it is not a national language of India. It is just as official language of India, which is declared by Article 343, sub-article 1st. Second test for Indian Federation, India has no official language. Hindi, official language of India under Article 343. States have their own official languages. Besides Hindi, 21 other languages are recognized, like Marathi, Bodo, Assami. These are the 21 other languages which are recognized as scheduled language in the 8th schedule of our Indian Constitution. A central government examinations can be written in any of the 22 languages recognized by the Constitution. English was to cease as an official language in 1965, but there were agitations in many states, especially Tamil Nadu, against this, so English is allowed to continue. In 1965, there was no use of English for official purposes, but there were agitation, especially in the southern India of southern part of our country, India, Tamil Nadu. They had some agitation related to the use of English language as a official language. So today English can also be used as an official language in our country, India, but it is not recognized under the Indian Constitution. Some facts: only 0.02 percent Indians have English as their mother tongue. These are some facts related to English language. 11% know English as the second or the third language. The census of 1991 recorded 1500 distinct languages claimed by the people as their mother tongue. So this is about the language diversity of India. Next we discuss that the center-state relations. This is a burnt issue. After independence, so many times the Indian government, the central government, misused the Article 356, which is known as the state emergency in our country, India. After independence, after the first general election, when in Kerala the first non-Congress government was formed, that was Communist Party of India, under the chief ministership of E.M.S. Namudri Path. In 1959, it was the first time when this article was misused by the central government, by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, to dismiss the rival party, the Communist Party of India. From which state? From Kerala. Restructuring of center-state relation, one more way to strengthen federalism. Yes, if we are able to remove conflict between the central government and state government, then we are able to make a strong federation in our country, India. Though Indian Constitution has demarcated the power of union and state government, but still the union government can have influence over the state government in many ways. First of all, mostly important subjects are included in the central list or the union list. So and in emergency condition, when there is an emergency in any state, then the control of that state would be given to the central government. In the past, the central government has often misused the constitution to dismiss the state government and that were controlled by the rival party. As I have given you the example of Communist Party of India in Kerala. In 1990s, yes, it was the phase in the Indian political history that emergence of regional parties in many states and beginning the era of coalition governments. This was a time after the death of Rajiv Gandhi. Now there was no single party who got majority in the Indian political system. Then a new era of coalition system would begin. What do you mean by coalition? When two and more than two political parties come together and form the government, that is known as coalition government. In coalition government, there was a great role played by the regional party. That was the reason that the central government, in the central government, there was a share of the regional or the state political party. In 1990s, emergence of regional parties in many states, beginning of the era of coalition government, this led to the culture of power sharing and respect for the autonomy of the state government. And this power sharing was supported by major judgment of the Supreme Court that made difficult for central government to dismiss the state governments in arbitrary manners. At present time, Supreme Court can check the functioning of central government, that if the central government misuse the Article 356 against any state government, then the judiciary system has power to dismiss or to stop or to reject that order. Therefore, federal power sharing is more effective in recent time than it was in early years after Constitution come into force. Now there is a definition of coalition government, a government formed by the coming together of at least two political parties. So this is about the concept of our second chapter, federalism. Today we discuss that what makes India a federal country, how federalism practiced in our country India. In that concept we discuss about the center-state relation, about the language policy of India, about the linguistic states of India. Thank you and have a nice day.